Good afternoon. This is Don Gertz from Royal LePage Little Oak Realty, and it's been a couple of months since I did a last garden update. So today is September the 10th. So you're into fall season, and that's typically the time that we're doing some harvesting. So I wanted to just show you what happened with my garden. We had an interesting summer. Our late June and early July were very, very hot. So we had to be careful with what we had growing, make sure that it had enough water. But also it kind of took over. So you'll see in a moment what happened with my tomatoes. I thought I was planting them and going to be able to, keep control of them, but they actually took over and made me reconsider how I'm going to do my garden next year. So anyway, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but I just thought you want to take a look and see what's been going on, and we'll follow up from there. So here's my kale. It did reasonably well. It's all organic, so sometimes it looks like the leaves have been eaten, but the thing in the middle is some romaine lettuce. I let it go to seed. I thought maybe I'd try to harvest some seeds and grow from my own seeds next year. But the kale did pretty well. My onions I was quite happy with. I didn't know that they'd do that well. We're gonna cut the onions down and harvest them and put them in, freeze them for for use during the year. I had my rhubarb. My rhubarb used to be over there, if you remember correctly, and the rhubarb got overtaken by those tomatoes. Just take a look at what happened. Like the tomatoes, I only think I had about 5 plants, but they just kept growing and growing and growing, and they took over everything and made it impossible for the rhubarb to actually grow. So I thought, well, what the heck, we'll put it in a pot and see if it'll grow in the pot. Guess I should have moved these first, but anyway. And I had got a little bit of cilantro growing there as well. My lemon tree, planted that from a seed a couple years ago. It's doing, I'm quite surprised, quite pleased with it. It's going to have to come inside, I think, in the colder weather. But there we go. That's kind of the jungle of tomato plants that we have. And then we had a basil plant. We're able to get quite a bit of basil off of that, and we go along. So yeah, so there's some more lettuce. It's gone to seed, and again, try to harvest some seeds for next year. But we got the tomatoes growing over there. Also had some peppers. I'm not 100% sure about these bell peppers. I was surprised at how they're growing. They look like they're black. There is such a thing as a black pepper, so I'm just gonna let them go and see if they turn black or purple like those ones go. My cucumbers were interesting because they didn't grow right away, or they didn't seem to be getting any fruit right away. And so anyway, they came along. I planted them horizontally or vertically like this on the bamboo poles so that they would grow, not spread all over everywhere like the tomatoes did. But I got some nice fruit off of them. The cucumbers ended up being quite a nice size. Most of them were even. They weren't like this, have this bulb thing on the bottom. But anyway, they grew. They were tasty, and we're happy to have them. So that's an update on the garden, and you can see how everything grew. I'm going to post a picture of my harvesting of the tomatoes so far, and then go from there. So next year, I guess we're going to have to do a little better planning to make sure the tomatoes don't take over everything, and then we'll go from there. So have a good day and enjoy the rest of the summer.